Bing, hello. Welcome to Joy of Life Coaching. Today I give the mic to teenagers because I want to give them the opportunity to express themselves and thus make their voice heard. So I would like to welcome Alina today. Hello, Alina.
Hello, Joy.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. Thank you very much for being here and for accepting the invitation.
Thank you for inviting me.
Let's start by saying, why are you here today? What would you like to share with us?
I'm here today to share the thoughts and the feelings of the teenagers our days and to talk about what worries young people these days.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what is worrying you?
The first thing that worries me as a teenager in the 21st century is not knowing what new things we will bring to this world, like new technologies, new knowledge, but also new disasters, and how are we going to solve the new disasters and the old ones. So that makes me wonder a lot because it creates a lot of pressure on teenagers because obviously we are the new generation that has to be the better generation than the older ones.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I feel like in comparison here, huh? I feel in comparison with the previous generation and the pressure of
Mm-hmm.
trying to be better than the
Mm-hmm.
previous ones. Okay, I think, well, this this heavy weight that you feel on your shoulders, not only you, but I understand a lot of teenagers nowadays, is not your responsibility. Okay, it's you should not take the responsibility of the previous generation, of the future generation, of everybody. No,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very important to separate yourself, to separate your body from the responsibility of the whole world. Okay, it's not your fault that the world is made this way. Yes, there are disasters, there are there's injustice, and there are a lot of things changing all the time. You're not responsible for everything. I think uh, what will make you feel better is to ask yourself, okay, what can I do myself, individually, me, every day, a small thing to do every day to make my planet better. What can I do? Not, I will not solve all the problems of the world, but what can I do individually, myself? Okay, slowly, step by step. And also it depends where we look, where we put our focus on. If we put our focus on the disasters, of the injustice, or of the terrorism and blah blah blah, this will bring us a lot of negativity in our life. We don't need that. Let's focus on what is going well, what is going better. And of course, it's good, yes, to be aware of a lot of things. But once these bad things that are happening around us influence us negatively, forget it. And ask yourself, what can I do? Me.
Mm-hmm.
Make it specific. Okay? Live from the chaos and make it specific. This is my answer for that question.
So another thing that worries me is the possibility of finding a well-paid job because there are now more educated people than it was in the case of my parents, for example. And as well, like for the job interviews, there are many more people coming to the same job interview, so there's more competition going on, and the same for universities. For example, at Cambridge, there's only a 5% acceptance rate. So out of like 100 people, only one or two will get in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yes, it's true that nowadays higher education is more accessible to more people than previously in previous
Mm-hmm.
generations. But before as well, there was a competition. So once again, if we compare with other generations, we lose a lot of energy that we could put
Mm-hmm.
on on what we want, on our desire, on how. Oh yes, I want to go to Cambridge. How can I do it? What can I do now? What step? What action can I take now to go one step further to my goal, towards my goal? Yes. If I constantly compare myself with all those other teenagers who would like to go to the same university, I lose a lot of energy, I lose my time. And also comparing yourself with others makes you lose your subjectivity. It makes you the same as all everybody else, but we are not there. Why? Because nobody walked on your shoes. Nobody has your story. You have a different story. You cannot compare with yourself with others. Another person has his story, her story. Okay, so better to focus, to put our energy and focus on what can I do now, myself, what action can I take to go towards my goal. Yes, I want to go to Cambridge. I don't mind. Don't focus on, oh, they may not accept me because there are a lot of people. No, think about, I will be this 5%. I will be one of those 5% people who will be accepted. So it's good to ask ourselves, what do I want to do in my life? And where can I imagine myself working? What job would I would like to do? And okay, maybe there are a lot of people. And so what? I will do my job well because I will love what I will do. And if in the interview there are a lot of people, it doesn't matter. You're there to compare with yourself, not with others. And if in an interview you're not selected, again, it's fine. If you're selected, that's very good. If you're not selected, that's very good as well, because that means that you're not for that position. Maybe something else is waiting for you that would be matching better with who you are.
You've talked about doing something that you like, but for example, around my friends, there are many who are forced by their parents to do something like medicine, but they want to do art. So what should they do in this case?
I think it's very important for a teenager, especially when you are, for example, 16, 17, 18, okay, you're a mature teenager, so you can express what you want, what you like to your parents. It's very important to say, to communicate to your parents what you really want to do in your life. It's your life, it's not their life. And let's hope that parents will understand, because it's your life. And if there is a real love here, they will understand it and they will respect it. Parents should not wait for their children to carry the weight of their dreams. Okay, if they want to become a doctor, they can do it. It's never too late. But we should not press kids to follow a dream of somebody else. They have their own life. You have your own life. It's your path. So I think it's really important for the teenagers to explain to their parents what will make them happy. And if a parent is worrying about, oh, but if my daughter is going to study arts, she will not be well paid in the future. Who says that? You never know. Maybe your daughter will be one of the most famous painters of all the times. We never know. We don't know. And imagine if someone studies medicine or law, and this is not her desire, okay? This is parents' desire. But, well, fortunately, okay, I hope that they will find their path, but there's a risk there. There's a risk not to be good at your work, not to be a good professional, because if we don't put work and love together, if you don't love what you do, you will not do it well. You will not be a good professional, because you will not do it with smile. You will not do it with breathing. You will not do it with happiness, with joy, right? So who as a client would come to you? Personally, I would not. And those are feelings that the clients feel it actually. Huh? So even if we are a doctor and we don't want to be a doctor, well, we will not have clients. So what's the point? We failed anyway. Yeah.
So this was more of like the major thoughts, but speaking from my daily thoughts, I always think about relationships. It is interesting to see how easy it is to find friends our days, but it is easier to find an enemy than a friend. And it is extremely difficult to find a true friend. Well, that's how I feel, because there are many people who surround you around social media or like school or parties, but you still feel lonely. And it is extremely rare to find true love, because maybe teens can't love or care for someone these days. And it may be the fault of social media, because I feel like it made us more ignorant and selfish.
Okay. Yes, indeed, social media is a very big trend nowadays. And of course, we can see a lot of things happening online. But really, once again, this depends on us. We are not obliged to pay attention to everything that is surrounding us online, on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, etc. And yes, friendship exists. Yes, teenagers can love, of course, like everybody else, since forever. So it's not something new, but maybe there are some values that are more rare today. And a lot of young people are based on the image that they see on Instagram, and they forget about their real life. Maybe someone shows that perfect life on Instagram, but this is not true. Yes. So the question is, who do I want to have in my life? With who would I would like to be surrounded? Yes, by. So yes, okay, I can understand that there are maybe some bad experiences, fake friendships, and people who maybe hurt us, etc. But this is part of the game of life, let's say. Sometimes, yes, we will be hurt. Yes, sometimes people will not be very honest with us, but with experience, we understand better, slowly, who is like this, who am I, and what do I want to have in my life. Yes. If you focus on what you want, on what will make you be happy, then you will not accept people who hurt you around you. You will throw them away. You will unfollow them. You will put them in the side. And yes, it's good to have our eyes on us. I mean, to take back our eyes and look with our eyes. Where would like to look? I am not forced to look fake people. It's my choice.
But whereas, for example, before people married in their 20s, now they're marrying in their 30s or 40s. Maybe it's because it's harder to find someone earlier, and it takes longer to find the person who you want to see with you.
Well, this depends. We can find real love in our 20s. We can find real love in our 60s. It's not the universal. It's not the same for all the people. Maybe in previous generations, society was more strict, let's say, and if someone was not married by the age of 30, it was considered as a failure, or socially it was not very well seen, let's say. Yes. But nowadays things are much different, and we have more freedom. I believe we have more freedom than before. And yes, if you're not happy in your in your relationship, you can break up and move on and
Mhm.
find another person who suits you better.
Mhm.
And don't forget that also we change. We are constantly changing. So yes, some people will decide to get married in their 40s because maybe they know better what they really want. They know themselves better in their 40s than in their 20s,
Mhm.
or they change. And
Mhm.
yes, they decide maybe later what do I want? Who do I want to live my life with? Who could be my partner?
Mhm.
Hmm.
And so the last thing that really worries me is that a lot of us suffer from depression or anxiety coming from friends, family, or school, and a lot of us don't really know how to deal with that.
Hmm. Yes. Okay. Well, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, or well, all these similar feelings. Let's call them uncomfortable. This uncomfortable feeling, this sadness, let's say,
Mhm.
it, it's for sure a sign, a warning that something is going wrong. Something is going wrong in relation with our desire.
Mhm.
Uh, it speaks to us, and sometimes on our body, if we don't listen to it, it will appear differently
Mhm.
to warn us and tell us, be careful, something you do is not in line with what you want, really, in reality. So I think really that it's good that this uncomfortable feeling exists so we can wake up. Because imagine if we don't wake up, we are dead. Actually, we are already dead. It's like we are a zombie, okay? Because if you
Mhm.
don't live in in accord with your desire, with what you really want to do in your life, yeah, we are a zombie actually. There are a lot of zombies around. Huh? so
Mhm.
so yes, if there is an uncomfortable feeling like depression, sadness, anxiety, we have to ask ourselves, okay, what is going on? What's wrong? How do I feel?
Mhm.
It's good to express our feelings, to start saying, describing. Maybe sometimes we are not able to say exactly what we feel,
Mhm.
but by describing it, we we give language. We put language on what we live, and this
Mhm.
makes it easier to understand as well what do we want, because it's not easy to answer this question.
Mhm.
Sometimes we go around and we say what we don't want, but that's good because kind of slowly we are oriented towards what we really want.
Mhm.
So if, for example, it's about school, okay, parents maybe or teachers should ask, how do you feel to the kid? What's going wrong? Why you don't feel comfortable here? Is it
Mhm.
about friends? Is it about a lesson, a subject, a teacher,
Mhm.
uniform, sport? Hmm?
Mhm.
I would I would like to see more life coaching really in schools, because this will help a lot the expression of the feelings of students. So this will help all of us, I think.
Mhm.
Well, I think this is my answer to that. I don't know if you have any comments, anything that came up during the discussion.
No, I think it's all good and it was all answered. Thank you very much for having me and for inviting me. I
Okay,
discovered a lot and learned a lot.
thank you very much for coming and for your questions. It's really inspiring. I'd like to see more and more teenagers like you uh, really taking the responsibility of their life into their hands. Thank you so much, Alina.
Thank you.
If you need anything else, you can just call me again.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you. I
darling.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.